I ain't even here right now. You know it's hard to see all of what goes on in the city. That's why we got Maddy Skyeline. It's time for Maddy Skyeline.
It is time for Maddy Skyeline here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 103.3 FM. He's Joe Ryan Eggle. I'm Jason Minix. And we're trying to connect with Maddy Skye, the food and culture editor of the San Antonio Express News. I hope the dial tone wasn't a precursor to what she's got going on this week.
Yeah, that didn't sound good. So we'll hopefully get her up here in just a few minutes. But she's got to be a little tired. I mean, there was a lot of fiestoing, going on last week. So,
well, and she was like the prom queen for Whataburger in one of the floats.
I saw that,
which was way cool. She didn't give us any heads up on that she was going as the prom queen for Whataburger. As Maddy Skye, the food and culture editor of the San Antonio Express News, joins us now. Have you recovered from Fiesta, Maddy?
Not quite. And I also just want to say that I was on time today. I was ahead of time, and you all were late. So
I blame Pledge.
I've been sitting here waiting. But no,
happens.
I haven't recovered. My life is still in shambles.
Still in shambles. You got to explain that. What happened?
I feel like I need a pedicure. I feel like I'm behind on laundry. I need to clean. I need to do chores.
Same.
My bank account needs to recoup. I need to hit the gym harder because I was just all over the place.
I'm with you on all of that except hitting the gym.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, maybe gyms, but that leads me into food. You know, the other day, Joe and I did a contest here on the station giving away Chris Rock tickets, and it somehow ended up on Iconic Eats, and we were suggestions of places that none of us had ever been, ironically, and we should try. And somebody suggested Mr. and Mrs. G's over on WW. I'd never been. I've been to Tony G's, but not Mr. and Mrs. G's. Apparently, they're not related. But Joe and I went there for lunch today, and I think that's going to be a new thing. We're going to take suggestions from listeners on where to go eat. Being the food and culture editor, what are some of the more iconic restaurants in San Antonio that you kind of feel like everybody has been to and should have been to, but when you talk to them, they go, yeah, I've heard of it, but I haven't been?
Just off the top of my head, because it's not the street from where I live, Maria's Cafe. It's a super small taqueria going towards Southtown, and really good people. I think you can get like a taco named after you, or that's like the goal. And I've been eating there since I was little. My dad used to love to go to there. So definitely a must try. What else? I am a personal huge fan of Piedras Negras de Noche. I have never eaten anything else there except the enchiladas and rancheras. But it's just nostalgic. They actually had like a really devastating fire back in the early 2000s. And so now they moved to a smaller spot that's right next door. But the old restaurant was so fun. Like growing up in there and always going there reminded me of Beauty and the Beast, like that castle in Beauty and the Beast. Like they had like the stained glass windows. It was really dark and moody. And that was always like Friday, parents got paid type of restaurant.
Nice.
So it's still really good food.
Well, apparently, Maddy, there's a bunch of those places around because we got some, and I'm probably the worst when it comes to that. I haven't been anywhere, apparently, in the city of San Antonio. So I was happy to try this. I had never been to Big Lou's Pizza. I did see it today, though, because it's on WW White. So so we decided this is going to be a thing. So if you've got any suggestions, those two included, but any more, please let us know because I'm anxious to try these places.
You've been to Big Lou's, haven't you?
Yes, but I've always wanted to try Mr. and Mrs. G. So
it's great.
If I get, y'all are really hyping it up, so I got to get it up there. Another place that I've only tried takeout because my coworkers would bring me food, but I've always wanted to go in and try it myself is Pancho and Gringos, like going towards the east side. I've had the grits and they're amazing. So definitely try that one. I also tried last week. I think it's not a locally owned, but it's Texas owned and it's kind of like a chain, but I'm going to go again tomorrow because it was really delicious. Demasi's, it's like a Mediterranean buffet and the garlic dip. Like I've been thinking about it since
Wow.
last week.
Where is this
And
place?
so there's one towards UTSA, and there's one I think like Allen Ranch. So, and it's Mediterranean foods. I think it's pretty healthy. And nothing in there struck me as like, ooh, like okay, I love buffets, right? We know we've already established that. I'm a weird buffet person. But usually when I go, I'll be honest, like I finish a lot of plates. There's always a little something that I don't finish because it looked better on the line than it did on that it tasted. But at Demasi's, like I finished everything because I'm a big veggie person, rice person, and like dips and sauces. So it was so good.
Well, for the
I like
record,
it a lot.
everything at Mr. and Mrs. G, because it was made with love, is healthy. From the fried chicken, the fried pork chop with the gravy, and the mashed potatoes, and Joe had the smothered pork chops. It was all very healthy. And sweet tea.
Yeah.
It had it all, but it checks because it was made with love. It's healthy. It was a good healthy lunch.
Yes.
And the
Yes,
cornbread. I
very
forgot the
Oh,
cornbread.
the cornbread too.
Holy crap,
oh
that
my
was good.
gosh, that was good. Well-
I wish I liked cornbread. I'm not a big cornbread person.
Really? See, I love
Mhm.
cornbread. I really do. And that cornbread today was great. I could just reminisce about lunch today.
But here,
Go on and on and
pro
on.
tip, because now
Yeah,
we're veterans of
let it.
Mr. and Mrs. G's. Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have smothered steak.
Yes.
They don't have
Ooh.
it on Wednesdays and Fridays. And
Ooh,
they're only open from 11 to 5. So you're not going there for dinner.
dang. So that makes it tough for me to get out there.
As the food and culture editor, I think you're allowed to leave to go eat. I think it's in your title.
I think I can finesse that. Yeah. So I need to get out there and try that for sure.
Just saying. Maddy Skye from the San Antonio Express News joining us here on the Blitz as we talk about things that are just San Antonio.
Mhm.
Camping in the park for Easter. Now, I've never done
Yeah,
it.
that.
I've never thought about doing it. Never wanted to do it. I don't like to camp anywhere. Period.
Same.
Glamping maybe,
Yeah,
but
me
no
either.
camping. But it is available again this year for the first time in a while.
Yeah, for the first time in 2 years, overnight camping is available. So that, even though we don't really like it, I know my family, San Antonio, my family's Easter celebrations are usually very small, but I know for a lot of families, people go all out camping. It's kind of like a challenge to, it's part of the tradition is staying out there overnight and staking your claim. Kind of like the parade spots, the parade spots along Broadway before it was changed. You would see the risers go up like way before the parade. That's kind of the same vibe with the Brackenridge Park tradition. So I do want to hear from some families about, why they do it, what, is their go-to, how it all works, because it's such a celebrated thing to do.
We know it's probably
But-
something they've been doing there, in generations. Right. I mean, families just kind of pass that down. But some of those people, Maddy, get out there like 2 or 3 days before.
And the funny thing is that you bring that up is a few years ago, I found a really historical photo. I want to say it had to have been the 1800s. I remember it was past that 100-year like copyright window, and we were able to use it. But it was at Brackenridge Park or some park along the way of Brackenridge that it showed a family camping out way back then, and we could see like them drinking beer. So this has been part of San Antonio for years. Yeah, so it's part of a long-standing thing.
I know you just did your project for Columbia University and all the accolades. You get all that, so maybe you're tired of investigative reporting and research. But I think you need to go camping this weekend for Easter as an investigative reporter. So you give us the firsthand account of a crap air mattress and sleeping in a tent.
There are boundaries in that. Definitely not doing that. I don't like, especially in this heat. Oh God, no. Oof, it's too much. So,
well, I
will gladly celebrate at home.
I love traditions like that. I think it's really cool. And those folks that do it, I know they enjoy it. And it's just part of the family and part of what you do. So I think it's really cool. I want to ask you, though, Maddy, about you were really upset with some dude at the coffee shop today. What happened? Why was he complaining? What was the deal?
I don't know. And it was one of those things where everybody kind of just looked at each other like, is this really happening? Because I was at local, I love the salted caramel iced coffee from there. So I was already in the area, and I stopped to get my first story and have my coffee. And everybody was just having a jolly little Wednesday. People were having nice conversations. And all of a sudden this man comes up and just berating the barista for not having his coffee out in 5 minutes. Like, and she repeated it. She repeated herself, or she repeated, she said it back, and she was like, it's been 5 minutes and you haven't had your coffee. And he was like, yeah, his glasses on, his sunglasses on inside the coffee shop, which was kind of strange too. So wherever that man is, you need to have better time management, more patience, and if you're that in a hurry, go get it from like Bolero or something. Don't be mean to people.
I'm with you. I don't know. I mean, 5 minutes seems normal.
Yeah.
Berating anybody that's working doesn't seem right on any level, and who knows what that guy's going through. But I do think as we return back to life, and after COVID, and we're allowed out of our houses, and we're mingling again, there are some social skills that I think a lot of people have forgotten, because I have noticed more and more people having very loud conversations in restaurants. They're by themselves, or coffee shops. I've seen it. I've seen people tweet about it or put it on Facebook. And it's not like they're even using earbuds. I mean, they got them on speakerphone or on FaceTime having these long conversations. I mean, I saw one the other day at lunch. I was at a burger place that has a lot of orange. You might have represented them in a parade recently. I was sitting at the Whataburger on Austin Highway waiting for my food. And this lady, I was concerned for her husband. Maybe it's her boyfriend, maybe a combination of both, but whoever she was talking to, her girlfriend, they weren't happy with the two dudes that they were talking about. And all I could think about was, I'm glad I'm not them, because they were in for a bad night. I think both of them were. Wow. They were both mad at they're dudes, but I'm like, I don't need to hear any of this. I'm just waiting for my cheeseburger.
I will say that since the pandemic, I've gotten really comfortable with like looking crazy and not putting on makeup and going out in public like that, because I spent 2 years or so much time at home that now I'm just like, I don't care. I look fine without makeup. And then my mom will tell me something like I'm looking rough. And it's like, okay, I should have put the makeup
Can I tell you guys something along the same lines? Last night, Maggie and I go to El Mirasol on Military, not the new one, the original, or the older
one you can get into.
Right, exactly. It was packed though.
Yeah.
For a Tuesday night, it was packed. So we're sitting there in a booth, and right behind us were these four. I'm going to assume they were college age, but they had to be 21 because they all had margaritas. So they were
sure.
And I don't know who their friend Morgan is, but they were ripping her up and down. I mean, they were mad at Morgan. And what was funny about that is that we could hear the entire conversation. So Maggie and I didn't talk the whole time. We're just listening to them.
Yeah.
And they were ripping this poor girl, Morgan, up and down. I don't know who Morgan is or what she did to these girls.
At least that's a table there's four people at a table having a loud conversation.
Man, it was loud.
It's not like somebody was on the phone bitching about Morgan, and now you know everything about Morgan from a phone call that you weren't a part of.
Not only was it loud and complaining about Morgan, but it was F Morgan and F this and F that. And we weren't the only ones. I mean, everybody was listening to this conversation, and it was pretty interesting. Now, I'll give them a break because I think, well, they had to be 21, right? Unless they're not checking IDs, right? Because they had margaritas, and but poor Morgan, I don't know what she did to these girls, but she's in trouble.
Cat fight, huh?
I guess so.
Tequila talking.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's it.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, Maddie. Before we let you go, anything else going on in the city we need to know about?
I'm very excited about Friday. I feel like there's a lot of like Selena birthday events happening. I'm trying to go to one at the Good Time. They're going to do like a Selena inspired tribute night. I'm sure there'll be other places doing similar things. So that's always exciting. Easter, same thing. But
are you going to dress up as Selena?
No. Sometimes I think that's kind of strange sometimes. I don't know. No, I won't dress up as Selena.
Did you get a lot of compliments on your hat, your Fiesta hat?
I did. And people were really shocked to find out that I made it, which was kind of like a backhanded compliment. And two, that it was made out of plastic bottles. That really stunned them. So yeah, it has been hung up. Maybe I'll make some more next year. Maybe I'll sell them next year. No,
there you go.
Make a little side business.
Yeah.
You got all the time in the world for a side business.
Yeah, it took too much time. I don't have. Are you being sarcastic?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but it got a lot of compliments, and yeah, I was very proud of it.
Good stuff. Make sure you're following Maddy on Twitter at Maddy Skye, Skye. Got a tweet in from Dominique_Serna. My father is out there now camping his spot.
Oh my gosh, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Got to get your spot. Got to get your spot. Well, see, and that's it. If actually, you know what? If somebody else just held the spot for 4 or 5 days, I still don't think I'm showing up and spending the night.
Well, it depends.
I might show up and eat, drink a couple beers, and then get the hell out of there. But I'm not sleeping on the ground.
Now, with her dad, is he allowed to have his ice chest full of beer and a little, maybe a little Walmart grill that he could, have some food?
I would hope. I mean, he's not
hope
out there
so.
starving for 3 days.
Well, I hope not.
I mean, it's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
Maddie, enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, Maddie.
Thanks, guys. You too. Happy Easter.
Talk to you
Bye.
next week. Happy Easter. Maddy
Easter.
Skye from the San Antonio Express News, the food and culture editor, joining us here as she does every Wednesday on the Blitz.